Animals come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. That is one of the reasons why we can never stop talking about them. The animal kingdom is so diverse that we always find new, exciting things about them that are worth sharing. Today I'm going to be introducing you to 10 abnormally large animal features that actually exist. We'll be looking at the biggest eyes, the biggest ears, and all sorts of interesting large animal features that you never knew existed. I'm pretty sure you can take a guess as to what animal is at the top of this list. You'll be shocked when you see some of its big features. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. The Muskox.
It's late summer now. The muskoxen shed their warm, woolly underlayer.
Have you ever had a hard time growing your hair? Or your beard? Well, there's an animal in the wild that doesn't have that problem, and when you look at it, you might get a bit jealous of its massive amount of hair. Its name is the muskox, and it's a hoofed mammal that lives in the Arctic, and it's in the same family as the ox and the buffalo. The muskox hair can be as long as 1 meter, making it the longest one in the world. Other than humans, of course. I mean, some of us have a hard time growing out our hair, but overall our hair could reach a size as long as the muskox if we never got haircuts. Certainly their thick fur and long hair is a very helpful feature for these animals since they have to endure some of the coldest temperatures on the planet. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Number 9. The long-eared jerboa.
With legs like a kangaroo, this rodent has a hopping run that allows it to cover up to 6 miles a night in search of food.
Usually, ears are small in relation to the face of any animal. But here's one animal whose ears are larger than its face, and that would be the long-eared jerboa. This is a nocturnal rodent very similar to the mouse, with a long tail, long legs that allow it to jump, and of course, crazy large ears that make it look like a cartoon character. The skin of these rodents can be anything from reddish yellow to the pale russet with underparts that are white. They're so unique that they even earned a spot on the list of 100 animals that you need to see before you die. Now, I know a lot of you would never want to be near a mouse or any similar animal, but maybe you want to give the long-eared jerboa a chance. It seems like a cute and harmless little guy, and not many members of the animal kingdom have crazy ears like these. Number 8. Gibbons.
This is Kalia. She's a western hulock gibbon.
And here's another animal with unusual and large features, the gibbon. In the case of this animal, its outstanding feature is the presence of arms that are longer than its legs. This feature might seem odd to you, but it's actually quite handy for an animal who likes to spend a lot of time in the trees. The gibbons use their long arms to hang on the trees, but also to keep their balance as they walk along the branches. Putting birds aside, their abilities have allowed them to prove that they are the fastest tree-dwelling animals in the world. They can reach speeds of about 56 kilometers per hour and can swing as far as 15 meters from tree to tree. Their bodies also allow them to do long, successful leaps of about 8 meters long. They can feed from a variety of things, including fruits that they find in the trees, as well as eggs, insects, and small reptiles and small birds that they find along the way. Their ability to move also helps them stay safe from big predators who are not as agile as them when it comes to climbing and moving along trees. Number 7. The sword-billed hummingbird. One of the main characteristics of birds is their beaks. I know, not all animals that have beaks are birds, but the feature is certainly a must when it comes to belonging to this group. Some of them have small ones, some of them have large ones, and some of them even have colorful curved ones like the toucan. But one of the most impressive beaks in the world is the one of the sword-billed hummingbird. Being such a small bird, this hummingbird has a beak that is longer than the rest of its body. The feature is quite unique in the group, and it allows them to drink nectar from flowers. They're so close to the plant kingdom that they even managed to co-evolve with the cucurbita flower in South America. While most hummingbirds use their bill to scratch and clean their bodies, the sword-billed hummingbird is not able to do that due to the size of their famous bill. Number 6. Proboscis monkeys.
For the proboscis monkey, size matters.
We all know by now that the animal with the longest nose in the world is the elephant, but do you know what's the monkey with the longest nose in the world? Well, I believe you will find this animal pretty interesting. It is the proboscis monkey, an animal that can grow a nose as long as 17 centimeters long. That's about 3 times the size of an average human nose. According to primate experts, the main purpose of this feature is to help the male monkeys get the attention of their female counterparts. The longer the nose, the larger and more intimidating their mating call is. You can see them in the deep jungles of Borneo and Southeast Asia. Some of their favorite activities include swimming and eating things like leaves, seeds, unripe fruits, and sometimes they also eat insects. Unfortunately, this exotic animal is threatened by predators and the loss of habitat that are now common in its region. Worst of all, a lot of these threats are caused by humans. But I do hope that one day we can change that. The proboscis monkey sounds like a very interesting animal, and I would love to see it one day. Number 5. The hippopotamus. I'm sure by now you were expecting to see the hippopotamus on this list, and sure enough, here it is. The hippo is the land-dwelling animal, although it does spend a ton of its time in water, with the largest mouth and the largest teeth. For that reason, you will always be encouraged to stay out of their way if you ever visit them in the wild. But then again, like I said, they spend most of their time in the water, and they are very protective of the rivers where they live. One of the coolest things about them is that they spend a lot of time underwater, but they have to come out to the surface every 3 to 5 minutes to breathe. And they keep doing that automatically even when they sleep. They're natural swimmers to the point that their calves are natural at suckling underwater while covering their ears and their nostrils. And they can do that peacefully while their mom keeps her eyes open ready to defend them against any hyena, crocodile, or any predator who might want to attack them. With those big mouths and teeth, I don't know why any animal would actually want to mess with them. Number 4. The bowhead whale. While the hippopotamus's mouth is quite big and intimidating for us land dwellers, there's an animal that has an even wider and larger mouth. It is the bowhead whale, and its mouth can be as big as 5 meters long, 4 meters high, and 2.5 meters wide. That is big enough to fit a couple of humans and other large animals in there. However, these whales are not interested in that kind of food. With their big mouths, their main source of food comes from some of the smallest animals in the ocean, the zooplankton, which are animals that drift in the ocean, and most of them are invisible to regular eyes. The whales can eat about 2 tons of food per day, and they are able to catch their food through the filtration system in their mouths. These big animals spend their lives in the Arctic, and there are at least 5 stocks of whales in the world. Another interesting fact about them is that they're also the longest living mammals. Some of them have actually made it to 200 years old. Number 3. The colossal squid.
This is a giant squid, measuring in at 12 foot long.
After a ton of research, experts came to learn that the animal with the largest eyes is none other than the mysterious colossal squid. This beast has a pair of eyes that can be as big as 27 centimeters in diameter. That is more than 10 times bigger than the human eye. The large size of these forward-facing eyes allow them to stay aware of predators and other dangers in the deepest parts of the ocean, where light is more limited and only the strong and powerful survive. One of their largest threats is actually the sperm whale, which actually glows in the dark due to the bioluminescence of the tiny planktonic animals that travel with it. But deep in the water, this phenomenon can only be spotted with eyes as big as the ones of the colossal squid. The next animal on this list of big eyes is a large swordfish with eyes as big as 9 centimeters in diameter, but this is barely a third of the size of the large eyes of the colossal squid. They are indeed impressive, and they're surely a useful feature to thrive in one of the darkest and most mysterious parts of the world. Now it's time for the day's best pick. The picture I chose for today features an animal that grabbed my attention from the first time I saw it. Not only is it quite rare, but it also has a massive pair of horns. Just what is this animal though? Well, it's actually called the Ankhole longhorn, also known as the cow with horns. And even though this animal has been bred in America, it derives from a group of African cattle. Just a look at it and you'll see why it's so unique and popular. This animal has very long horns. In average, they have the longest horns, but there is one specimen of another group that got its horns so big that it even broke a world record. Number 2. The Asian water buffalo. The Asian water buffalo is an animal that can be found in Thailand, Bhutan, Nepal, and India. While they usually have horns that are about 1 meter long, one of them became the animal bearing the longest set of horns ever. It was an Asian water buffalo in India. This was back in the year of 1955, and it even entered the Book of Guinness World Records with horns that measured 4.24 meters from tip to tip. Just imagine how long that is. It's at least twice the size of an average human being. Overall, animals with horns use this peculiar feature to defend themselves or fight with each other. I'm sure this one made quite an impression within its group, but unfortunately, he got shot prior to gaining its fame. Kind of a bittersweet note to end that part on. Number 1. Blue whale. Are you surprised to see this animal at the top of the list? Being the largest mammal and overall the largest animal in the world, as well as being kind of a favorite of mine, it was only obvious that we were going to find this animal at the top of this list. The blue whale has the largest heart and a very heavy tongue. The heart is about the size of a small car and weighs about 590 kilos, and it beats at a rate of about 8 to 10 beats per minute. That is pretty slow, but still it's actually loud enough to be heard at a distance of 2 miles away. Similarly, their tongue is also huge and heavy. It can be about 33 meters long and weigh as much as 3,600 kilos, which is heavier than the weight of 2 medium cars combined. You really can't expect less from the largest living animal on the planet, that we know of yet, at least. And that's all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed learning about these interesting animal facts. Have you ever seen one of them in the wild? Which one would you like to see and which one would you stay away from? Let us know in the comments section down below. With all that said and done, I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.